রেকর্ডিং হচ্ছে।
Lucky if we are allowed. Yeah, so how do you keep your energy high? Some people say that do what you love and love what you do. So first thing that we can start is we can start with doing what we love. And if we are lucky, if we are allowed to do whatever we actually like to do, right? I don't know whether my set is there or not. Just give me a second. So we can go and we can have this, right? So let me change this to here, and so that we can
রেকর্ডিং সেটা
don't have problem with the camera.
লিঙ্কডিনକୁ আসেনি তো রেকর্ডিংটা।
So
স্ক্রিন রেকর্ডিং করব।
let me see if we can do it completely. So the energy that we can put is high. We don't have to kind of artificially generate some kind of energy and do it and try to act as if we are loving it. But for some days, if we keep doing those things, you'll find that you have started loving it. Why? From my personal experience, what I have seen is whenever I complete something, I actually I felt the energy, like something is completed and it has worked for somebody else, whether I like it or not. The work is completed, so that kind of boost up my energy as well to do the similar things. So what happened is, in my organization, I always ended up doing the dirtiest thing, because starting out on something is very difficult for people, so start and compile everything, that is the dirtiest thing. Polish something which is already existing is the easiest thing. So the dirty thing I always start, and so far so it has so happened that people have started using me as the innovator, as the ideation, or at the initial stage, because that is where people need energy to get going, and the initial idea has to be planted there so that people can work on that. So I'm the initiator of ideas most of the times, and because my mind works, and that is a gift, I must admit. So my mind works in very innovative way. Whatever appears to be very difficult or very unusual and crazy, those things I always undertake, and say I complete 50% of it, and then people take over, polish it, and then they call it as their own. I don't mind that, because I also want those things to be taken forward. So yes, so that is my nature. I don't know what is your nature, but I am enjoying my life, I am enjoying my time. If sometimes also I am a human being, so I also it hurts me when things happen and people actually push me to sideline when it matters. But again, it doesn't matter, because in order to avoid such kind of situation, what we need to do is we have to take up many such things where people will lose count of how many work I have done, everything cannot be taken up by the same set of person because their aptitude is not there, right? So the first, if I have that gift of doing say 80 kind of things, right, 80 kind of things, then it will never be the same 80 set of people who can take it to the finish line. So that is where lies my superpower, because I can initiate 80 kinds of projects, and I have to be concentrated because you cannot kind of put 80 teams, right? So I have to be there to complete the job and guide those things. So whether people want it or not, I kind of force them to, to include me. So that way you can counter that tendency of organizations who actually sideline the initiators who have the brilliant mindset, and those are the people who innovate things. Second thing, and for that you have to love your kind of job. So I must say I have that aptitude to love whatever I am doing, and that is why I am innovative, and so many ideas also come up. And all the people who have been the new inventors or and other things, they always are the people who worked on crazy ideas, right? And crazy ideas are not always going to succeed. Out of say 90% of crazy ideas are not going to succeed, but those are the seeds for future inventions, you know. So those need to be, so for those failed ideas which were future in seed for future inventions, you are not going to get credit for that if you are the person who is seeding that, right? So for the future, what do you see, for the future generation, for the future of our world, whatever you are doing is a contribution because it has come from your own mind. And sometimes people will look down upon you, that doesn't matter much. Second thing is the if you are given an option about whether to choose between love and logic, you have to choose love. Why? Because it is associated with emotions. So anything emotional will drive you far. It is not very logical. Why that emotion is there? There is no logic about that. Logically, if you go, it will not take you far. So emotionally, if you go, it will take you far. So if you are given a choice, then choose the emotions rather than the logic. Third is you should be very thorough about your numbers, the business numbers, right? You that is the numbers are the only way to give you a direction, a hint about whether you are succeeding in this endeavor, how much you are spending and how much you are earning. That those are the only way to keep track of your numbers, right? So if you want to, whatever you are doing, whatever you are loving to do, that has the right way to do also. So whether you are spending more, and you can always spend less, reduce the spending and spend in another way, that course correction you can always do if you have the right kind of numbers, all your numbers if you have, right? Then the fourth thing is, while doing all this, if your energy is very high, right? So that energy is your mentor, that is the guiding force, right? So keep an eye on your energy. If you don't feel like doing that work, then that is not your work, that is not what you were born for. So just somehow avoid that or delegate that, or say dismiss that altogether, get yourself out, because that is not working on your energy. Fourth thing is the people that you are serving. If with your energy and enthusiasm if you are not serving their interest, then also there is a mismatch between what you love to do and what your clients want. Might be that will be something of a requirement in the near future, but right now it is not. So open your eyes to that and turn your one day to day one. So any day, if you start today, that is that is the starting point. Put your shoes on. That is how you start running, right? If you put your shoes on, you have to get out of your house. You have to take job to the course, the race course, and that is how you start running. So first thing is to putting your shoes on. So do it right now. And there is a sensibility about whatever you are doing. If you are doing something which can be scalable, then it will be something noticeable. Otherwise, people will not be interested in something which will never be scaled up. And the essential part of scaling up is it is to be taught to a team of people. Only then you can scale up. Otherwise, it remains stagnant with you only. If you are the only person who knows about it, then you can become an expert about that thing till it is there. So if you are not going to scale up, the utility is also getting restricted, right? So you have to teach people, you have to show people, you have to demonstrate how it can be scaled up. So anything, any business that you are doing, any work that you have undertaken, anything that needs to be scaled up to be viable. Otherwise, it is not going to stay in the market. And for every day, you need to be told, or you need to remember that what you have to do today. Suppose at the end of the day you did 4 things, but whatever you had listed in the morning, like today morning I listed out 3 things. Out of that I am going to complete 2 things. Then another thing will be converted into something else. 4th thing which was not in my list. That means that is a deviation, right? So whatever was in your list, there is a deviation. Although there is a contribution, there is utilization of your time, a new innovation also, but still it is a deviation, and a deviation means something was pending. Then again tomorrow it will again be in the to-do list till you finish it. So instead of today, it will be finished tomorrow or maybe day after. By the time, might be the time is gone for this particular task to be done, to be meaningful. So it doesn't make any difference whether it is finished today or finished tomorrow. But if it becomes meaningful, say after tomorrow, stop being meaningful after tomorrow, then it is a loss. So that deviation is it will cost you a lot, because you have put some effort into that kind of task which you didn't fulfill, or in the first place you have chosen a task which was useless in the first place. So be careful about wasting time. That is a time waster as well. So it affects your productivity. So be careful of that as well. Then you need friends, all kinds of friends who can scold you, who can be your accountability partner, who will push you towards whatever goals you have chosen. And without an accountability partner, you are not going to achieve your goal. You at least you cannot be consistent. So choose a partner, a group, or anybody. So you need all kind of friends who doesn't sugarcoat, essentially. Take periodic breaks, because all the time taking out energy from within depletes the energy. So we need to re-energize ourselves. We need to revamp ourselves. We need to refurbish ourselves. So all those things require, anything creative requires some energy uh, recharging. That recharging is required. So take periodic breaks. Then whatever you are enjoying, if tomorrow if you discover something else is there which is more enjoyable, then you have to switch over to that niche. You have to switch over to that activity, because today's activity was not something which is the utmost happiness creator. So you have to choose another one for your your potential, because whatever you love doing is where you meant to be. So these are the learnings for day 2 1% development group. Hope this helps. And we have started this journey to in order to compound our improvement every day, so that it can be compounded to something in which we will be unrecognizable, where there will be a version jump, and will be able to this able to be the same person who we need to be in order to achieve our success, right? So, and I hope this helps, and I'll be happy if we have some kind of